Hey guys, happy Friday. Yo here, and I am jumping in live into your community, into your group, basically because I was working with my dog Bandit on some tricks that we have for tomorrow's tricks class. And I was like, I know a lot of people might want to try some of these tricks. So I've got 3 tricks for you to demonstrate. This is live, so if you can see me and hear me, you can say a quick hello. If you actually type it, I can see it on the screen. I can pop it in here. I'm also just testing out this broadcasting studio that I've used before. I just wanted to see if I'm going to have any trouble, if you can, making sure that I can be streamed, that I can hear myself and all of that, and see any comments that are coming up, because I have an upcoming masterclass coming up a week from yesterday on multiple dog household. So I've got 3 big tricks for you. I'd love for myself to share with you. If you have any questions as they come up, let me know. Cater towards like pet parents that have some of these skills already, and I'll talk a little bit about the skills before I get started. If you're a dog trainer and you've got some clients that would love to try these tricks, I recommend just kind of playing around with it with your own dog and seeing what comes up and seeing if you can give it a try. All right, just want to make sure I am live. I am great. Okay, so the first trick I have that I want to show you. So I've been doing some gift wrapping, just a little bit, not a lot, because I got a lot going on. And one of the tricks I have my dog doing is fetching me scissors and tape. And I'm working with Bandit, who's my little tiny Bernedoodle. He's about under 20 pounds. And I have him grabbing tape or scissors by name. So I'm going to pop a video and I'm going to kind of talk you through the training on what I did. If you've got a notebook nearby, I recommend taking taking some notes so that I can kind of, as I go through the steps that I did, these are the steps based on what my dog knows. So if if your dog or the dogs that you're working with, or if you're writing a tutorial for pet parents and you're a dog trainer, then you might need to add a few steps. So this is just based on what I did. But here are the 3 tricks I'm going to go through with you. How to wrap a ribbon around a Christmas tree or lights. How to help you wrap a present. So that would be grabbing scissors and tape for you while you're sitting down with your gift wrapping paper. Maybe pushing the tape down if you want your dog to help you with the tape. Tying a bow, so having them put their paws on it while you tie a bow. And what else did I end up doing? I actually had Bandit hold the paper in place while I put the tape down. And then lastly is just pushing the box down after you put some gifts in there. Now, there are a couple more tricks that we are doing in class that I'll share with you. I don't have tutorials for them, but I'll just kind of talk you through them. One of them we have is helping you stock your gift card envelopes. And then the last trick I think that we're doing in our class, our tricks class, is stuffing stalker. I'll try to go live again if I can between now and Christmas. But basically, it's you have a stocking and your dog is bringing you things to put into the stocking, and they're actually putting it in the stocking, kind of like putting your toys away or tidying up your toys. All right. If you can see or hear me and you're watching this live, I would love for you to just type in the comments hello and hi, just so I can make sure the comments are working. But let me go ahead and get started. Let's see. Let me start with my favorite is wrapping the ribbon around the tree. I feel like I should start with that, but I think I'll start with fetching the scissors and tape. So let me pop this video in, and then I'm going to kind of talk through it and talk over it as we go. All right. So the first thing is that we want to make sure that the tape or scissors are is safe for your dog to put in their mouth. So what I have here is a washcloth or a cloth material, because Bandit does a lot of things with the handkerchief, like he'll fetch me a handkerchief. So I'm wrapping the tape in the paper or in the fabric washcloth. And then I'm using a piece of painter's tape to close it up. So I did a blue one for tape, and then I did a green one for the scissors, being very careful, making sure everything is wrapped up. From here, I'm going to teach Bandit to specifically fetch me a specific one of these. So I think I start with identifying the scissors by name. So I just place the scissors down, and whatever interaction he does, I'm marking. I think I'm using a clicker here, and then I'm rewarding. And as I reward, I remove the object so that I can bring attention to that one specific object. So this is a pair of scissors. Once I get, my goal is to get him to put his mouth on it, but I'm shaping this. So I'm just letting him kind of do this on his own. He's got a pretty good fetch. And by now he's already putting his mouth on it. So I go ahead and add a little distance to it. Again, I'm going really fast with my dog. And once I've got the goal behavior that he is indeed fetching the item and bringing it to my hand, I go ahead and switch over to the next one. I think what I did in that video is I did start to name it. So that object was called scissors. This object went really fast. I did it right after. You can see I'm still wearing the same clothes. This is all done in the same training session. We moved on to tape. I called that one tape, and then I proofed it if I pulled both objects, and I asked for scissors here. Let me see if I can play the audio. I'm tossing a treat to Reset. It's a little bit delayed in the video, but he is indeed bringing me the scissors versus the tape. Just a really quick pause here. We do a lot of match to sample, and we do identify objects by name with Bandit, so he's pretty quick at this. But I am helping him by either leaning towards the object that I'm about to say, or I use the object closest to him. Gradually, with success, you can make it a little more challenging. So this was just really like all done in one training session. So I am making it as easy as possible.
Wait. Wait. Scissors. Very good. Wait. Tape.
So he is identifying the difference. I'm most likely helping him with my eyes and the way that I'm leaning.
Tape.
The tape was a little bit closer than the scissors.
Oh boy.
And then here are the bloopers. So this is what happened towards the end when I tried to make it a little more challenging.
Tape.
And I just ignore him because that's not what I asked for. And I know that it was his first time doing this. And I'm helping him out.
There you go, good boy. That's a good boy. Thank you.
All right, so that was a quick video on how to identify tape and scissors by name. Just bringing it to you is great practice for your dog. One thing you can do that you don't see here is that I actually taught him how to open one of the drawers, and then I put the scissors or tape into the drawer. So that's just to make it, if you want something a little more challenging, it's fetch me the tape or scissors, and it's behind a cupboard. So there's one more layer of things for your dogs to learn. All right, so if you like that one, let me know by commenting when you see this video. If you're coming in late because I just jumped in live, I figured I'd go before I go run some errands. I would just kind of share this just in case you are wanting to do something fun with your dog. So that was fetch me the scissors and fetch me the tape, identifying those names by identifying those objects by name. So the next trick I'm going to show you, because it's my favorite, I just can't wait to show you, is called wrap the ribbon around the tree. Now your dog does need to know how to, let's see, take something into their mouth and hold it while they move around a tree. So if you do parkour or urban agility, or it's basically a dog is going around an object and coming back, they hand it to you. And then what I do is I transfer the ribbon to the other side and he comes around me. So you've got a take or hold, a wrap, and then I have him going around. So he's making this circle around the Christmas tree. And then how you hold it. So if you want the ribbon to go, from high to low or low to high, you're helping bring that ribbon up or down the tree. Now, when you first start out teaching this, I don't have any of the beginning tutorials. I just have like what we're doing with the holiday props. But in our tricks class, we were using a cone and a stick to represent a tree. And then for ribbon, we just used a soft, plushy toy. In this video that I did, I was doing with my dog, I started off with a piece of fleece material and then I switched it over to the ribbon. And those are some steps that you're going to want to take when you're doing that. All right, let me go ahead and pop this video in. Uh-oh, which one is it? Oh, I think it's this one. Ribbon around the tree. So at the very beginning, I teach a pull or practice the pull, and I'm using a piece of fleece material. Pull to means basically I need him to stand up and pull the object out of my hand. So the default position is standing. And then as I present him something, I want him to pull it away from me. So in teaching pull, he already has a pull, is that they progressively are able to pull farther and farther away from you. Now, this is a really good skill to have. Anyways, I'm going to pause this video for a minute because like if you want your dog to learn to open something, then pull is going to be very useful. All right. So after he gets really good at pull with the fleece, I switch over to the ribbon material, which is a little different and it tastes weird. So I did a few practice repetitions with that before I moved on. So that's the pull, step one. Next, that's just taking it in his mouth. And there I'm not asking for him to pull as much as I did with the fleece. The next thing separately is I'm going to want to make sure he knows and understands a wrap. Now, we had done repetitions around a cone, a tree, and all these other things. So this is around a Christmas tree that I just got. He had not really spent a lot of time with it, but he picked up pretty quickly. I'm using a verbal cue and I'm using a hand gesture because I want him to go in a specific direction. I've also, if you notice, I'm asking him to now go around my body and then wrap around. So that's around my body and then wrap. Next is to ask him to take something. So I'm going to have him go around and then I'm going to quickly offer a take. So it's around my body and take. We're putting those two things again together. And the timing is really important here. I'm going to pause this video and just back it up a little bit. So as soon as he comes around, you're going to notice I start to look for him. Right there, my head stops and I'm looking for the corner of his nose to kind of peek right by my left side. And the moment I see that, I am saying, instead of marking and reward, I am saying the next thing that I need him to do, which in this case is take this object out of my hand. Some of you might use hold, but basically it's holding an object is next while he goes and does something else. All right, so let me continue to play this. So there's that take, and I'm rewarding that. So I'm putting those two things together, around and take. From here, I'm going to add the wrap. So I've got around my body, take, and you're going to quickly see me go to wrap around. And it's okay if he drops it. Like my dog doesn't have a really strong hold. So he has a great fetch. So as long as he's moving, he's okay. So I have a take right here. And notice that if you're using a hand gesture, I'm going to play this again really slow. Here's the take. Now, if you can, I'm going to freeze the video right here, but what I'm doing is using the hand closest to my dog to give him the next thing I want him to do. So the moment he puts it in his mouth, I am asking him to wrap around. And since we've done some practices there, he knows what the word means, but my little quick hand gesture will really help him just kind of like get focused on wrapping around and almost kind of forget that he's got something in his mouth. That was my goal here. So just watch the timing on that. So my left hand drops right by the side of his face so he can see it with the corner of his eye. And there he wraps. I mark and I try to reward with my right hand again. So he comes back around. So it becomes this circle around, take, wrap. Good. I don't worry about him dropping. I get the movement going. I know that I need to get a longer duration for that wrap. So what I do is just focus on working on that part right there. And how I do that is I know he's got a good fetch. So I changed the word from take it to fetch. And not quite yet. You're going to see me do it in just a second. The difference is that I'm not presenting the ribbon. I put the ribbon on the floor. So I'm basically asking him to hold something in his mouth the entire time while he goes and gets that thing. So I'm really trying to lean into the tree. So you're going to see me switch over to placing the material. This is fleece, just fleece all tied together. But you could practice in class. What we did was just we practiced with the little plush toy and didn't worry about the hanging ribbon, which can be a big distraction for a dog. So now I'm asking him to fetch it, which fetch he's got really good, which means take that object and bring it to my hand. And I am as I'm doing this, I'm trying to figure out how I can get a longer duration with that hold. So there was the ribbon on the ground and I didn't hold it that time. And that made a little bit of difference. So that gave me a little more duration in his mouth. By the way, he's got this totally down today. This was yesterday's training. And there it is. So that was really close. And he brought it back to my hand. So that is what I'm looking for. I want him to bring the end of the ribbon back to my hand. And then that would be my goal behavior. So here I'm trying to figure out how I can get him to just hold one piece of the ribbon. There it is. Yay. So that was close. Now, what I realize is that as the ribbon goes around the tree, it could possibly knock over the tree. So after a few repetitions, he kind of got that. So we switched over to the ribbon. And the ribbon is tied into this big, huge round reel thing. So I pulled as much ribbon as I actually needed. So I measured it out eventually. And I'm getting him to now hold. So I'm proofing it with a ribbon. And there you see he's actually going around. Again, the goal is that he brings it all the way to my hand. I was scared of him actually knocking down the tree. So I started to get a little more strategic with how I hold the ribbon before I have him take it from me. And there it is. He gets better and better at this. And like I said, today was awesome. So now I ask him to go around another time. So now we're getting that wrap around the ribbon. So I started, okay, I'll go high and have him go down low since he's a smaller dog. And there's that third wrap around the ribbon. And it's supposed to be fun. And here's the last wrap. So here's wrap number 4. And there we got a ribbon around a Christmas tree. So that was one of my favorite tricks to do this year. I had a good time. It is actually kind of on the easier side. It's not It is a probably advanced or expert trick because there's layers of it, but it's definitely something that I think a lot of dogs can do. All you need is a fetch and a wrap around, which are, I think, wrap around is more of an intermediate trick. Okay, last one. Make sure if I have any comments, I want to make sure they're coming up. Okay. Last one is if you're wrapping presents and you want your dog to contribute, like Bandit loves helping. So he like stares at me and is like, what do you want me to do? Come on, put me in, coach. So he was kind of like that while I was wrapping presents. So I figured I'd just kind of see where it took us and I'll kind of show you. I did a series of different things. One thing, if you've got a young puppy or you're working with pet parents with young puppies, it's really good to just help them get accustomed to seeing all, because paper sounds kind of weird when you're gift wrapping and then there's the tape and the scissors and stuff like that. So you just even having your dog close by where you're doing that safely could be a really good experience for them if you make sure that it is a positive experience with them, so they don't get hurt or anything like that. So step one, before you ask your dog to help participate, is making sure they're comfortable with the environment that you're using. So I am in the dog training area. I've got a rubber mat underneath me. So because all right, so let me pull this video in, help me wrap a present. So first what I wanted to do was pause up on a box. So I used a box that was solid enough to hold him. So that's first step, is what type of box you use. I also have a sticky note here because I want him to actually target a certain spot for his paws. So I start off with paws to a sticky note. He does that. I mark and reward, and I quickly put that sticky note where I want him to go. And then I ask for paws up. He does it. I mark, reward, in place. So he's putting his weight down. So we do this a few times. I toss the treat to reset. Good. I'm grabbing a clicker there. Again, this is just our home training, doing a few things. Good. I'm saying good because he did so good. So pause on the sticky note, mark, reward. I added duration pretty quickly. So then I'm going to add the distraction of me actually. So I'm adding the distraction of me pushing the tape down. The idea is if I wanted to tie a bow, or if I wanted to have him like hold his paws there while I push the tape down, I needed to, obviously build duration on the paws up, but I needed him to stay put while my hands moved underneath his paws. So for me, that's paws up with distraction. You're going to see how I maneuver through that one. Let's see. By rewarding in play. So I'm feeding him and letting him nibble on the food while I touch the box between his two paws as if I'm pushing down tape. So that's what that is right there. I'm building some distractions underneath his paws just to get him to be comfortable with me actually staying there. The other one I did is have him work on closing the box. So we call this close it. And it's basically a paw target to an object. So if you've got a sticky note, you can always start with a sticky note. In this case, I can just say the cue and then point to where I want him to close the box. I think I have a treat in my hand, which he identified. And I'm making it really easy. I am just asking him to touch it, and then I'm basically letting it go. Here I am wrapping the present. I'm asking him to be patient. He kept trying to do all kinds of things. So I did edit this video so it wasn't as long, but he was trying to grab the scissors from my hand. He was trying to, there he is, trying to grab the paper to help me wrap it. He was so enthusiastic about helping me. It was just adorable. So here I'm going to put the tape down. I'm asking him to put his paws up. And instead, he does this little scratching motion. And I was like, well, that's actually cute. So now I'm going to use that to help me push the tape down. So I say, and he paws on it to push the tape down. He then offers a paws up as well. Toss the treat to reset. There's the paws up. So see, I am trying to actually get them to stay in place while I am putting tape down. I am actually wrapping these presents. It wasn't a very good job, but it was so I can record a tutorial for you guys. Be careful that that box doesn't flip over and all of that stuff. So here I'm going to have him, I think, push the tape down. And eventually I have him wrap the ribbon around this particular box. So we did the same thing that we did with the tree. So here I am bending it over, presenting it, put the tape down, and then I'm asking him to basically push the tape down. So he is being my little helper. So this trick was called helping me wrap up presents. And then the last part is helping you with the bow. I got frustrated and we had already been working all morning. So this is probably where I called it quits. The goal is that he would stay there and hold it, his paws up on the bow so I can actually tie it. But it is I actually needed 2 hands to tie the bow. So I couldn't train it while I was trying to get it. So I kind of gave up at that point. But the goal would be is that I have a good, strong paw target while you've got both hands and you're able to tie a bow. So those are the 3 big tricks that I did that I had just presented. So if you're just coming in a little bit late, no big deal. Just watch the tutorial. It is live in your group, but it'll also just stay there for a while. So we did wrap the ribbon around the tree. You did fetch the scissors and fetch the tape by name, and then help me wrap a present is a lot of the paw target stuff going on. I have an upcoming workshop masterclass. It's probably going to be a 2-hour event. It's basically on multiple dog households and just going through lots of different things, whether it's setup, understanding, troubleshooting. It's going to be this Thursday, December 28th at 11 a.m. So if you are available, come live so you can ask questions as they come up. If you're seeing this and you've got some questions you'd like me to cover, go ahead and drop it in there. It is already up on our YouTube channel as a link. So if you press notify me, then it'll notify you when it goes live. But that's Pacific Standard Time. That's this next Thursday. I guess that's December 28th. So that was it, guys. Just jumped in live. I wanted to test this broadcasting stream software. I wanted to give you guys some fun tricks that are for the holiday that if you've got the next couple of days off, you can do with your dog. If you enjoyed this, let me know. Comment, say hi. And if you want some more, you let me know. I would love to jump in live again. Have a wonderful holiday. Merry Christmas. And I will probably touch bases with you next year. Thanks a lot.